Just give it a second here, let it load. Make sure we're all good to go. Gym is healthy. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So, what we are going to be doing today is working on my tutorial hub rustification. So what we finished off with yesterday was in our routes here. We went ahead and made the git repo contents route, which either returns an entire repo's contents or a single file's contents. So that was pretty fun to set up. Took a little bit, but now that we have that, we can go ahead and kind of start working on the actual HTML. So I'm not gonna do the HTML myself. I think in the day and age that we are in, there's no point. I think Gemini could probably do a much better job than I could. But with that said, probably not going to use Gemini. Probably going to use Codex. But regardless, I also set up Tailwind. As you can see, it's running right here. And that will take in this input here where I can change stuff and then allow us to serve from a static file this output. So that's pretty cool. And that runs like locally. You don't even need this as like a build dependency either, just because this output is get tracked. But anyways, and in order to add that, I had to go here and I had to mount this /public. And I mean, I know what it's doing. I couldn't tell you why it's file server from and all that, but basically what it's doing is saying, hey, when the website hits /public, mount this static folder relative static. So basically relative pathing from the static directory. So in order to access this output.css, it would be /public/css/output.css. And we can actually go ahead and start it up here, and we can go here, and we can see over here, first of all, that it did go ahead and find our output.css, because I do have it linked right here. I low-key like forgot how to do that too. I low-key had to look it up. It's been a while since I've had to manually link a style sheet. Been so used to React. But yeah, just like that, we can see it's got a 200 and found it. So let's see here. How should I get started? Part of me wants to like really customize it myself, but at the same time, it just doesn't seem like time efficient. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to our actual, oh wait, that was localhost. Go to our tutorial hub here, and I wonder how I could have basically the same thing just remade. Let's just screenshot it and we'll feed it to Codex. Ah, crap, what was it? Print screen. And we'll just save that to downloads, and we will call it cheat. All right, so now that we have our preview of what it looks like, I also just realized I can actually something a bit different here. Yeah, we'll say cd projects, tutorial hub Zach, tutorial hub Russ. Actually, let's cd say code egg. Oh, do I still have the agents in here? I do still have the agents in here. And then why is it so mad in this file? Warning, 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 warning. All right. Go, we got codecs. Let's just make sure. All right, Chrome DevTools is enabled. And we do have our context 7, that's up as well. All right. So I can actually just have it go to this website. If I really want it. Well, no, we're not gonna do that. All right. We are located my tutorial hub. There's a client server and Rust version. Our task is to context 7 or inbox and rewrite the review the client that you XJS and our Rust server. We're making any edit, establish it first. Yeah. I guess I'll that wrong. It's fine. And read the necessary next.js file. Let's just see what it does. So what this should hopefully do for us is scaffold a lot of the HTML. While that's going, I can go ahead and show off the website. We got our visualizer page, which visualizes a repo. And then you can go ahead and start a roller coaster. And it just takes you through the repo, traversing everything that's there. And we also have this bash scripts page. That's fine. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, I forgot to tell it to use Tailwind. It's fine. It'll stop before it makes edits. Bum, bum. Can't watch my own live? That's crazy. Just want to make sure it looks good. There we go. Check on the stream quality. Let's still say it's healthy. No views yet. We'll get them. Alright, it's reading everything. It's making its plans. What other API routes do I need? I should have opened this, not just. Alright, well, it did finish. So we have the home page, bash scripts page, visualizer page. No gist or file and oh, I do need to make those. Forgot about that. Tailwind CSS output exists. Next utility class. Apps.css. Why do you want to remove the Tailwind only directive? because I didn't tell it to use the element. Okay. And it will create the home template. Yeah, no, this is gonna do it wrong because I don't want it. It should be server-side rendering this, meaning it does the API requests here, like on the server, and then moves, like, and then it sends the pre-populated HTML that already has the API information, so that way I have some SEO, you know. Let's see here. Let's just go ahead and create the route. So what I need to do was that not over there. Let's go ahead and CD back into the tutorial. Rust. Okay. I think we're gonna hold off on having this continue until I make the routes. And high key, I might just have it make the templates, not do anything more than that. Okay. Got our /user. Now we need to make this one /guests. Which I guess will keep the. Don't matter. We'll just put it at the bottom. So we're gonna make a macro first. As get /is, and that is going to be a cfn. Then we'll just call it, I think, get underscore is. And it will return type that we need to make right now real quick. All right. Do I need to organize struts versus items? I think it's okay. Let's go ahead and copy over our macro here. Say alrighty. GitHub gifts. What data do we return from test it out real quick, maybe. Let's just go ahead and spy on this. Alright, so this is our guess, and this is all that it returns. Alright. So we have a URL, which is a force underscore URL. Also, it's underscore ID, which is a string of numbers, which is interesting. Node underscore ID, which is also a well, okay, I really don't need these. I don't need all this though. Like the get push URL, pull and push URL, I don't need that. HTML URL, maybe I want that. It might be helpful for when it comes to display stuff. Yeah, and then there's just the files. We're not going to include the get push or the get. And then files we'll do at the end. Public, which is a Boolean. We have a created at. And we also have an updated at. Also string. And we have also then we have comments. This string. For comments is a number, actually. We'll just say I. And we'll get the comments URL, might as well. Which is a string. Do I need the owner stuff? No. But it is interesting that it does give me this right here. Like it gives me my avatar. It gives me a lot of information. It's very interesting. Seems like more information, too much than I need. Okay, but we gotta make a files type. This look like. So files is an array, I think. What are you? No, you're an object. So it's an object. Objects. Okay. So that said, let me remove that white space. And let's go ahead. I guess it doesn't need to be public, but I can just let's see here. Let's look at these for examples. So, oh, I do have to wrap some of these in options. I just don't know. Well, here's the thing. So files would be an option. I know that for a fact. Because not all of my GIST are gonna have files, right? But all this other stuff should always be there. I think besides files. Yeah. And how do I make this dynamic? Now that I think about this. Why are you so mad? Expected identifier? Do I have to say it's public? I mean, it might not have to be public. Okay. There's probably another keyword for not public then, I guess. Alright, well, regardless, let's think here. So the untagged will make it fit. I think I need to do another enum like this, or at least use the Saturday untagged. Because yeah, but it's not an array though, it's an object. Start with this for now. File one option files. Oh, I need to add this. Okay. So now this files actually I need to make another type called a file type. That file type can have a name, type, language, raw URL, and a size. Right? At least I think I need to make another type. Okay. Hashtag square bracket. Ooh, what is it? What is it? Survey or alias close quote type. And now I just say a file or type colon and we have the language, which is also a string. raw URL size I U. What's the difference between I and U? I think U is bigger. Unit? Integer? I'm not sure. Okay. Then I need to add this. That. Oh yeah. And now this gist files. Add the so they have dynamic names. How do I support that? So basically gist files, right? It's essentially going to be local AI setup.md, and then it's going to be docker compose.amd.yml, and so on and so forth, right? Like with the names right here, which is where the names would go right here. But I need to tell it that, hey, gist files is as many of these files as there are these, but I don't know how to do that. Let's think for a second. Let's solve Gemini maybe. Let's make a new chat actually. Or no, because it kind of needs context on what we're doing a little bit. Okay, so I'm trying to type out a route slash gist at return I get out of shape of data like this. Oh, type so far like this. Trouble with how to dynamic fill gist files sense. I'll just say that. And we'll put it in learning mode. Yes, exactly. Definitely talking about a map here. I think we have a JSON object where the keys are dynamic strings like names and the values are the same type. Your file struct in a specific collection type. a map. I think it's a map. Okay, cool. And then the Rust type value pairs, which uses hashing. Based on your data, what would the key value types be for that map? The name of the Rust type we use for key value pairs. The hash map. What would the key value types be for that map? Hash map would name value file. Okay, so with that said, maybe I was going about this wrong. Like, how do I type that out though? It has to be typed out though. Like, unless I can do logic inside of the struct. Alright, this is a fair point right here. Oh, I gotta remember to change my cursor over when I'm reading, so that way you guys can read too. Okay, so ST selection hash map. Is file. And then so okay. So replace the placeholder option gist files with your new map. How would you rewrite the files field in your GitHub gist struct to use a new? So files is a hash map. String. File. And I think I need to wrap this in an option. Oh wait, it's not that, it's these. Right? Yeah. Okay. So it has an option because there's not always files, and then it's a hash map with a string gist file. Is that it though? Just like that? So we can get rid of this, I guess. This is what I ended up with. Let's see if this is the right way to do it. Hell yeah. Alright, before we, I'm kind of confused on that part, but yeah, no, that's a good call. Yes. Okay. So what this does, reads JSON type Rust file type, which writes Rust file type file underscore type JSON file underscore type. Oh, okay. So this does reads JSON. So it looks for type, okay, and then it changes that to file or to file underscore type, and then it writes file underscore type JSON file underscore type on the when it gets reserialized and like sent out, I guess. Question mark. Okay. I know I have some more of these. Okay. Hell yeah. So now we've got this shit typed out. So now we can say this returns a result JSON. And, yeah. Result. So I need to import GitHub. Yes. Okay. And then so let's oh cool. Quote. Let's just see what it says down here real quick. now it'll go to .com slash user slash slash hell yeah. Now I've got a request URL. I think we're all done with that for now. So I can just make it really small. And then we can go ahead and mirror this right here. And then we'll go ahead and send turns the future. Combine that with a dot wait to actually send the future. And then finally, we're gonna map the error. And so it error will print find error and status internal server error. Or well, it might not be internal server error though. That's the issue here. I mean, I guess we just leave it for now. I mean, it's still telling us with errors, but it wouldn't be an internal server error here. It would be an error with this. I do status. I think that'll work. Okay. So we actually get the response, get the future, fire the future, map the error, the dynamic status, and then now we just have to JSON it. Right? Why is it so mad? Oh, because I did something wrong here. Hold on. There we go. Semicolon? Oh yeah, because it wants me to put a semicolon here. Okay. That's fine. I hate how it does that. So now the response, the actual response, and just go ahead. Let's JSON response, full response dot JSON. Yes. Hold on, let's do this first real quick. So that way it stops fucking bitching. Okay. So gotta wait. I don't know why it's not like IntelliSensing. Oh, wait, did I include my question mark here at the end? I didn't. Okay. Now why are you mad at the question mark? I'll convert the error to status. I say like status from code. Like that. That's type expected type U16 on options status code. So it either is some or nothing. So I kind of need to match it, or maybe just throw a question mark there. Or do I dot unwrap? Oh wait, there's also a dot. Let's try the dot unwrap. what do I have available on E? E dot is status. Yes, that gives us a status code. Oh wait, that's why. So close, so close. I just gotta. See here. So basically right now it's returning an option, right? And the option is either going to be some or none. So so we have unwrap, unwrap, or maybe an unwrap or. I don't know why the dot unwrap work. Into. Why is something wrong with my return type? Oh. Because it has the type result option status. Hmm. So it couldn't convert the error to status. Even though I say status from code, right? What? Not sure. I'm a little stumped. Let's see if Gemini can help us out. try. Set up the air. The flow is not of the over. Not about the question marks. It's a type error, I know that. Oh yeah, that should be snake case. When you use a question mark on a result, it says return it immediately from function. The return type for the error variant is status. This means that anything you pass a question mark must resolve to exactly a status when it fails. Let's look at the code inside your first.map error. Rest errors don't always have a status code. ENS lookup fails. status is none. That will happen on bubble unwrap due to your application. Oh, this fail. Right. Oh, and then status from code returns an option status, not a status. Not all numbers are valid status code. I don't think it would be bad gateway. Let's see. If this errored here, it would definitely be like service. Yeah, service unavailable. I like that better than bad gateway. Alright, so instead of trying to dynamically do it, status service. Okay. And here would just be status kernel server error. Okay. And now we can go ahead and go to our here. And then we can say GitHub git. Why not make it public? Did not. Git. Okay, Yes. Okay. So now we should be able to add this cargo run here slash API slash 500 internal server. Invalid type map expected a string. Okay. Here. Doesn't even load anything there. Okay. Let's look at our models. Valid type map expected a string line 1 column. Why do I feel like this is such a terrible, like it's not verbose, no information on where it's expecting. Invalid type of a map. Gotta be here though. What if I tried taking it out of the option? Alright, that did nothing. A. Valid type map expected a string. So right here is where we attempt to turn it into JSON. Well, right here actually. This dot await. Okay. Valid type map expected a string. Like that's so good. I okay, so how can I make this error more verbose or help? feel like I'm not error handling properly. I guess. I guess. Is any maybe one of these is a map? And I just have it called a string? What else would be a map here though? Okay, so we have that like normal. All right. So if status is as so basically if it's not a success, I'll just copy this whole thing right here. Boom. Error. Code response status as u16, then we go ahead and unwrap the from code unwrap or status bad gate. Why doesn't it like that? I mean, I guess they do a return. I thought the implied return. Oh wait, there is no implied return. It's an if statement, bro. What am I doing? Of course that wouldn't work, right? Yeah. Okay. And now we'll just go ahead and get the raw text. Alright, let's just try this first. Let's see what even error we're getting. Or if it's even erroring out on the request. No, it's not erroring out on the request. Okay, good to know. So now let's go ahead and let's body data, find text, response.text, whoa, response.text dot wait dot map underscore air static internal server question. Why is it mad about this now? Oh. Oh wait, alright. Oh wait, what am I doing? So, how do I fix this? Use a moved value response. Guess this right here is move the value is. Am I doing something different than what they're doing? Response.text.await, response.text.await, .map error. Oh, and then it says to manually parse it. So parse data, insert JSON from string, GitHub Git, body. Let's just go ahead and comment this out for now, honestly. Or I can't do that though. It needs to return this. So I can't comment this out, but I don't want to manually parse it. Like that's not going to be the normal. I guess let's just comment that out for now. I have no idea if that's the actual that comment in Rust. I don't know. All right, guys. I do low-key have to use the restroom real quick. I will be right back, y'all. Alrighty, I am back. Open up my blinds. Get some light in here. Alright. Can't wait, bro. Okay. So instead of doing that, let's go ahead and we're gonna follow along here and we're gonna manually parse the data. Let's parse data search song. Why doesn't it like that? Alright, whatever. str if say reference body text map here. It's not IntelliSensing, which means I feel like something is wrong. To be honest, we'll just copy their print lines real quick. We can actually copy all of this. Yeah, no. How do I fix this? So basically, we need to get a from string. So maybe like JSON. Try from maybe. From no, it's rocket. As from. Let's try from. say body tag. And then I think I need to do this. Takes 0 generic arguments, but 1 generic argument was provided. Okay, so it doesn't need that then. Let's just see this list, let me test it. I guess we can just get rid of that for now. I really have to manually do all that. How do I? We have E and Sir. I think it would be a serializer. Like maybe not. Let's just try the good old copy and paste. Maybe I typed something in wrong the first time. Yeah, no, it doesn't like the Surday JSON either. Oh, because it comes from right here. There we go. Alright, now we should be able to fucking see what's going on. Goddamn. So it failed to parse. Deserialization error. Valid type map, expected a string. So somewhere I'm telling it. Wait a minute. So one of these is a map. I told it was a string. But no, bro. Only other thing I can think of is this owner field, but I didn't even include it. So how about that? Maybe there's a map in the file. Nope. All right. Well, I'm sure that AI can debug, figure out which one. Starts with a square bracket. Oh, it's an array. I did not mean to do that. So if it starts with square brackets, that means it's an array of URLs, right? No, that checks out, bro. That high key. The route returns all of my GIST. Yeah, it's even saying here. It means you're receiving an array. It's trying to parse the array into a single struct, which means I need to make it upgrade to expect a collection. Okay. Hold up. This is actually a lot more simple. We can get rid of that for a second. We can get rid of this for a second. And then we simply uncomment that. And we wrap this in a spec. Of GIST. Then we can tell this turn JSON short font. And this up here will have to be spec. Well, boom. This should work. Hell yeah. All right. What's the next route? Let's see here. So we already have user, we already have GIST, we have that one. I think these are just helpers. This is for streaming. We don't need to set up the streaming yet. All right. so that's all of the routes. Okay, sick. All right, now we need to go here, make a new chat, add files, upload or import code. Now let's give it my tutorial hub Rust. Oh, I need to add and push. Dash m pro setup API browse. All right, now for code again. Here we'll take tutorial hub. Make me a prompt for codec. Add has codecs. Context 7 for API dot for Rust rocket era doc. Okay, so we're gonna have to use context 7 for all the documentation, and then we're gonna have it codecs should first look at the hub underscore client folder. Look at the different then should for next ask on it's taking advantage of Era's side rendering. All right, let's see how it does. I usually have ChatGPT like make its codex prompts. Typically. I guess while we're doing that, we're gonna have codex exit out of that one and make a new one. And codex got an upgrade. Smarter and faster than our predecessors, capable of long-running project scale work. Slash model. Extra high. Line for codex provides the necessary context, defines the architectural strategy for porting Next.js client side to rocket.rs server side, and gives a specific implementation instruction. Alright, so now I like to read through all my prompts if I have someone else make it. But so you are a full stack developer specializing in Rust and the Rocket Web framework and the Terra templating engine. You also have deep experience migrating, blah blah blah. It's context 7, nice. Okay, so I need to have it rewrite the prompt. I give it, yeah, I gave it Story Hub Rust. It does not need to write route handlers to fetch the data. Okay. This is having to do a little bit too much. I don't want it to set up the persistent state or the session state right now. Why does it act like it's not updated? It was updated 8 minutes ago. Okay. Please edit the prompt. Comma. let's just say, please recreate the prompts. How do I word this? You know, I almost just want to see if it can do it, bro. Like, ChatGPT literally just got an upgrade. Okay, please recreate the prompt, but keep in mind the... So, I think the reason why it's saying all this is because, these are routes, right? These are API routes for the client to hit. And I think just because I was so used to types or to handlebars or whatever, I don't even know. It's been a while since I've done handlebars, but I kind of expected it to just use these functions. I think I have a conceptual misunderstanding as far as the fact that these functions, because I'm doing server-side rendering, don't need to be API routes, they need to be something else. Just ask it. Okay, stream is still healthy. Hell yeah. One view. What is up? So something went wrong with my chat. The fact that it's popped out. Let me just. Bro, why is my chat broken? What the helly? Alright. Well, I did not expect to break my chat by refreshing the page. Let me go ahead and... Fuck. What the hell do I do now? I mean, did this work? Let me test it out on my phone real quick. Test. Okay, it does. Alright. right to flag that. You definitely have the logic and the API set up, but there's a specific architectural reason the prompt directs codecs to touch the routes again. JSON versus HTML context. The index route needs to fetch GitHub data internally on the server, pass to the template. I literally do have a GIST. It's looking at old data. Alright. We're just gonna have to do the home page first. Okay, so I kind of led us down the wrong path making API routes. Alright, I think I'm happy with this prompt. Well, it does use this background effect, but it doesn't actually use the background effect. It only uses it because my website displays like a glitch. And it uses it in the glitch. Let's see. Refactor the Rust application. don't know how to word this. Extract the fetching logic. Oh, my music. Okay, extract the fetching logic for user stats and guess and paired function. And use so we're gonna have to make a services module instead of the API routes. I can just delete this. Okay. I think I'm just gonna delete this whole section really, because it doesn't need this neural mesh JS. This right here is all like static. The neural mesh is just for the first time glitch. I think I have to refresh the page. I don't think it'll glitch right now. This is what it's talking about, this neural mesh here. Alright, let's see how it does. Oh, it doesn't have the use context 7. I need to tell it to use context 7. Damn, Gemini's kind of an L for making prompts. But I think that's just because ChatGPT knows, just knows, I've made more prompts with ChatGPT, so I think it's just better at it. And then I can also tell it to I can say It's called Chrome DevTools, I believe. Chrome dash tools. Oh wait, no, I can't tell it that. Use cargo check to sure files build. Cargo check. And fixes and cargo check. Alright, let's try this shit. Ah. Oh wait, they added some more stuff to this. Use skills to improve how what does that mean? Generate a plan, create or update a skill, install curated skills from OpenAI. I don't know what this is. I need to investigate that. Regardless, let me just go ahead and copy all this. I mean, while this is working, codex skills. So the instructions is metadata. Interesting. And as we can see right here, it is getting all of the context it needs through context 7. Yes, it's fine. Interesting.
So what would what's an example of a skill? Notion spec to information, access linear context for codex task. Interesting. Okay. Are there any other features I don't know about? Come on. Load the page. Please. I didn't tell it to use Tailwind, but thankfully it is using Tailwind. Hold on. Let's interrupt it and say, please use Tailwind as well for the era templates. Because it was actually trying to figure out how to not use Terra. What else can I learn about this? By installing the generated completion scripts for your shell. I don't want to try this. I think it's not like completion. I think it's just you know, I think it's just like codex completion. Codex resume last, you know, things like that. Alright, and then once we get, basically, once we finish this prompt and we get this homepage looking like a homepage, probably gonna take a break a little bit, but I'll probably be live again today, working on this some more. It's planning, it's plotting. Let's clean this up while we wait. That's how to use Gemini CLI. I think I have it. Resources. No. Areas prompting. There we go. So Gemini goes to Gemini. Ooh, alrighty. So first thing we're doing is we're changing GitHub user. And we're changing GitHub guest. Okay. That's just my Gemini. And then so now what we're doing, oh wait, we already did that. So this is making a services mod, and then it's probably gonna make, yeah, creating the github.rs file right now. And this is the github.rs. Fetch JSON. So we have the request. Okay, let's go back to this. And now for our home function, GitHub user guest. Okay, and then render index, and then the context, GitHub user and guest. Okay. That checks out. then we're getting rid of the API routes, which is fine. And then we're also gonna unmount it, which is correct. We'll organize that later. Hell yeah. Checking for old references, W. That's kind of cool. What's it doing? It's running a diff. It's fine. X Cloud. Interesting. so you can turn codecs into an MCP server as well. Alrighty. Use context 7. Insufficient data from context 7 for Rust standard library from docs, standard trait input pattern use. Moving the slash API mount. Source routes API acceptable. Great. I'm definitely gonna delete that. We don't need these API routes. Let's just test it. Well, let's. Okay. Let's try it. Yo, W. Recreated it like exactly. Look at that. I think the font's off. Yeah, the font is off, but it's about exactly the same. Hell yeah. Alrighty. Well, that is gonna be the stream for now. I'm gonna take a small break, get something to eat, you know, the basics. But y'all take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll catch you again later. And stay tuned for the next live. Have a good one, guys.